Hey class 2 teachers. So here's a quick blast on how to use the new features that we introduced over the last few weeks. So the first is our new hint system. Let's go to test user 230 actually. And we can see that gone is that button that lets you see the hints up here, and instead the hints are attached directly to the goal code. So all the parts of the code that are blurred now also have hints attached to them that correspond to steps the student needs to do to complete the challenge. So if you hover over this step, you can see the title. If you click on it, it will pop up a little modal, shows you more information, gives you a bunch of buttons. You can also click on the actual code to see the same modal. Now, what do these buttons mean? Well, let's look at the student side. Here's the student's code. They see the blurred out code with this same kind of interface. They can click on the code and get this modal. They have two buttons. Watch a review video and watch a walkthrough video, and ask for help. So if they ask for help, then they'll send a message to their help stream. You'll get this new message here, and you can know that they want you to do something with the hint. If you press this button, which I've already pressed once, it will unlock the walkthrough video for them. By default, they can't watch the walkthrough video. They can only watch the review video, which won't actually give them the answer. Not every hint has a review video. In fact, not every hint has any video now. But if one exists and the student asks for help, you can always unlock the walkthrough video for them and they can start watching it. So I press this button, it will send a message saying, you can now watch this video. The student can click it and start watching.
Start making our...
Now, the other option is if a student asks for help with a hint or if they have a problem at all, you can use our other new feature, which we call instant hints. This is probably the feature you use the most frequently. So now if you want to fix a student's code, you can just start editing it. Just start typing any keys and we'll record all the things you type. So maybe I want to actually just send this student the exact answer. And then when you press send, it will send it to the student. So this new message appears in the help stream. The student can now go here, press watch, and they'll see this video that I just made, which shows them how to solve this particular challenge. Now the cool thing here is that you basically just made a hint for the student that's customized to their needs. They can see that this is their code you're editing, and here's the edits they need, highlighted in green. So that's a lot better than any other thing we used to have for helping them out. So basically, what these two changes mean for your teaching style is that you shouldn't really ever be leaving comments anymore. So it used to be that you'd go here and leave a comment, saying, do this, and you type out the whole thing. You should never need that anymore. The only thing you should really be doing is these instant hints. If you find yourself needing to leave a comment, let us know and what the situation was. We're not removing that feature because we think that they might still be useful. But we're suspicious that we won't need it anymore, and the comments might actually go away in a few weeks. So you won't be needing comments anymore very often. It's also not the case that you'll need to unblur code very often anymore. There actually exists a feature that lets you unblur code. You can press this I, and it will unblur parts of the code one at a time. However, we don't think you'll need to do that very often. We think that it should be enough to use these instant hints when there seems like a simple fix for the student's problem, or suggest one of these videos, the walkthrough video usually, for the student's help. But if you find yourself using the unblurring, then let us know you're doing that as well, because again, we're not sure if and when that's useful. We may remove that feature in the next few weeks. Just a few more things to point out about the instant recordings. You'll notice that there's a couple buttons up here. If you press the reset button, then that will reset your code to the student's code and it will start syncing again. As long as you are typing, you won't see any changes to the student's code. Pressing reset will undo that, as will pressing send or send plus audio. If you press send plus audio, it does the same thing as send, but now it also sends with an audio file that the student will hear when they play the video. So now it won't just be me typing, you won't see any changes to the student's code. It will also be me talking. So you can decide kind of after you made the hint if you want to send audio with the students. This is especially useful in China, where you might want to basically explain something to the younger students, like, hey, you need brackets like this. Not just demonstrate, but also explain. Another very useful part of the instant recordings is if you suspect the student might have an error and you don't know what it is, you can experiment by just typing, running the code, seeing if you can fix the error yourself, and then once you've fixed it, you can reset and then make a new instant recording that does the fix very clearly for the student. So, and then you can send that. So instant recordings, this kind of instant ability to be able to type in the student's code is super useful for identifying bugs as well. So you shouldn't need to anymore like guess at what the student's problem is instead of a comment suggesting something that you're not sure will work. You should make sure, you can always make sure now that your suggested edits will fix the bug, because you should be able to run the code and see the result. Another small but somewhat useful feature is now if you're looking at a student's code and you want to know kind of like, you want to map it to what the teacher code is, you can always now click on any line number and that will automatically scroll the teacher code to that corresponding line in the teacher code. Now you still won't match up the lines, but it looks for content. So if there's a class constructor extend React component somewhere inside the teacher code, then it will scroll to that place. So that's another useful little feature you can use to quickly align the two codes and compare them. All right, so that's it for the new features. There's another video you can watch which will explain kind of like our new workflow for teachers that we recommend based on these new tools. So you can check that out and let us know if you have any questions.